Hi, Julie Torrens here. So, we're going to work on some more watercolor flowers. I've got a pencil and I'm just looking kind of where the center is, maybe here. And I'm probably a fourth of the way down. And I'm just going to make a guideline arch. It isn't perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect. It's just a guideline for me. All right, I've got the Rose the Gallery paints. Got my water, my paper towels. I do have my metallics. Am I going to use them? I don't know. But I'm going to hit them with a little water. Just in case. Just in case. I'm working on a dry piece of watercolor paper. This is the Amazon Basics. I've got a small little brush here, Royal Langnickel, nothing fancy. And we're going to start some flowers that are just a little bit different than what we've done before. I'm going to start out, I'm using yellow ochre straight from the pan. And I'm going to start with a center. And I'm just going to make lines. Just like that. Good. Okay, rinse. Now I'm going to pick a flower color, and I think I'll pick, I wouldn't mind sometimes I feel like I'm using the same colors all the time. I'm going to pick Madder Red. Now I've got Madder Red here, and I am going to water this down a little bit, but we're going to be working a little bit heavier than we usually do. But we're going to start out again. I've got a bubble in my brush. That's okay. I'm going to make lines again. Not that much longer than what I had. If I touch and if I get onto those that center lines, then that's fine. They're already pretty dry. I'm going to go around again. Okay. Oh, I almost rinsed it in my coffee. Rinsed the brush. And now I'm picking out a bigger brush. Got the Grumbacher here. Grumbacher number 8. Just plain water, getting my brush good and wet. And now I'm just doing the dab on the paper towel. Now, I'm going to start making some petals using this pigment that's down here. And I didn't get much pigment at all. I'm just going to work it out. There we go. Good. That's nice. All right. Wet my brush just on the tip. Now, if you want your petals to, a little more water. If you want your petals to look like this one's in front, this one's behind, then start out with them not close together. Do you see what I mean? I'm going to put 3 in here. And I'm using a good amount of water here. And there she goes. I'm just going to bring some of that color up into this one again. These two came out pretty good. I think I was a little too dry for that one. All right, good. I'm going to let that rest. I'm going back to that small brush. And I'm going to do the same over here. So I'm going into the yellow ochres just straight on. My brush is a little too wet. And I'm going to make another one of those centers. Just going around with the yellow ochre. Rinse out that brush. A little bit of drying. Madder Red. And now I'm going to go around this edge. Good. And I'm going to go around again. So I'm putting like twice as much, theoretically, twice as much pigment on this outer circle than on the inner circle. All right, rinse that brush out and give it a dry. Back to the Grumbacher. And I'm going to do the same thing. Good. Another one. I just added a little water, a little too much water, I think. So I just dried it a couple taps on the paper towel. In the water, dab, dab. Little too dry. Just touch the tip into the water. All right, I like that. I'm coming back over here, rinsing the Grumbacher, dab, dab, and I'm going to put one right here. A little more water. Good. Don't want to touch, like here to here. I want that one to dry a little bit. I just went into the water. I can tell it's too dry. Little bit more water, but I am going to do these two now. And by skipping and letting it dry in between, that's how you get the petals to look a little bit like one's in front and one's behind kind of a look. Pull some of that pigment up into the flower. All right, good. I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to come over here, wet my brush, dab, dab. See if I can put one right here. Nice. I just rinsed, dabbed. I did it twice since I didn't talk about it. And I'm putting one right here. Good. Rinse, dab, dab. These two are pretty dry. Little more water. My paper is thirsty today. Okay. I think I can go right here. I got enough water. I didn't even re-wet it. Nice. Okay, rinse, dab, dab. I'm going to put one right here. But I'm going to have to, a little more water. I have to depend on this pigment here and bring it out. There we go. But can you see how I'm getting that look of transparency and one petal on top of another? That's because I let them dry in between. I didn't just work 1, 2, 3, but I skipped and skipped. All right, there's two flowers that are looking mighty fine. I'm rinsing that brush out and drying it. And I'm going to put one here, but I'm only going to make it a half. So I'm going back to that yellow ochre. And I'm going to do like this. And I'm just going to put a few dots on that side. All right, rinse. Dab, dab. My madder red has dried out almost completely. The relative humidity must be pretty low in the apartment today. All right, I think that's about right. And how do I know? That's something you're just going to have to practice. And from one paint to another, from one brush to another, it can all from one day to another, it can all change. Now just a little bit over here. Okay. Rinse that brush out and set it to dry. Get the big old Grumbacher. And I'm going to start with this petal because I feel like it would be about the biggest for us to see. Good. Rinse, dab, dab. I'm going to go over here, but these petals are going to be just barely showing. I want color, but they're going to be pretty small because they're back. They're behind. All right. Now that needs to dry before I make some more. So I'm going to take that big old Grumbacher, rinse, and dab, dab, and I'm just going to now go over that yellow ochre, and I'm kind of pushing it a little bit into the flower. Nice. I just wet the tip and I went back on the paper towel, and I'm doing the same thing here. Okay, I like that. All right. And we're going to go ahead and see about, I'm going to turn this because it's very clumsy for me. And I'm going to work on this petal. Good. Rinse. Dab, dab. I'm making this side where my brush is now a little bit flatter, but keeping the roundness more on this side, because that's just the way this petal is laying. I'm going to give these just a little bit more. Okay. We'll let those settle down. Now, how about just some little flowers to kind of go in between here. So I've got my Princeton Snap, the number 6, and let's go to something that we know and love. Let's do some dot, dot, dot flowers, okay? So I'm going to go into, and I've got some blue here. I'm going to go into what they call cerulean blue. I think it's pretty accurate for color. I mean, it's what I'm used to cerulean blue being in my mind. Not too thick, not too thin, thinner than we were using. Okay. I'm going to put one right here. Dot, dot, dot. 3 dots, rinse my brush. Pull it out. Pull it out, pull it out, nice. All right, cerulean blue, dot, dot, dot. But if you notice, rinse, dab, dab, my blue petals are not touching each other because I want that transparency in between. All right, another one. Cerulean blue, dot, 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 rinse. And this is going to be a half flower, kind of like that one. I've got water that's going to travel down the ferrule. Let's get that off of there. I made it a little too dry. Just put some water at the very tip. A little more cerulean blue. I probably lost some with all that re-wetting and everything that I had done. All right, I'm going to take my cerulean blue and I'm just going to make a couple small petals over here. Okay, good. Rinse. Dab, dab. I'm picking up some more of that paint. Putting it on my tray. A little more water. A little more paint. Too thick. Too thin. We're getting there. Okay. Between dot, dot, dot. Rinse. Dry. Dab, dab. It's wet enough. Still wet enough. Good. Into the cerulean blue. Dot, dot, dot. Rinse. And dab, dab, and pull some paint up and out. Up and out. And up and out. Nice. Good, good. Rinse. Dab, dab. Cerulean blue. And I'm just going to put some here, here, a little bit there. Rinse. Dab, dab. And I'm just going to add just a few more here. I'm going to make that one a little bit longer. All right, good. Rinse. More cerulean blue. I'm going to go to my first flower. Now I'm just going to put dots in between where I think it could use more petals. Rinse, dot, dot, dab, dab. I can put some more in because I can put them in without touching each other. Rinse. And what I mean is that I'm not touching the ones I just did. I'm not doing those really wet ones. But I think we're getting a nice little blue flower right there. More cerulean blue. Dot, dot, dot. Rinse. Dab, dab. Oop. Too much water on the ferrule. You don't want any water on that silver part, bubbles of water, because they'll roll down and all of a sudden, bloosh. You don't know what you got going on other than you feel like you're drowning. Okay, I'm going to put a dot, a little more. Dot, dot, a little more. Dot, 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 there. Rinse, dab, dab off on the paper towel. So how are you doing? I'm just going to work on this painting and then I'm going to go babysit. My grandson does not have school, so I'm going to help while so my daughter-in-law can go to the store. Okay, this one. Wet the brush and dab, dab, and now I'm gonna just kind of fill that one in like we did. Good. I'm going to fill the middle in on this one. I'm going to fill the middle in on that one. Good. We're getting there, don't you think? I'm going to do some more cerulean blue. And where else do we want some? Here, I think. Dot, dot, dot. Rinse. Dab, dab on the paper towel. These are not touching each other. Nice. Rinse. Pick up some paint. I did a little dab dab on the paper towel. Another one over here. Rinse. Dab dab on the paper towel. Good. One more. Maybe I'm trying to picture maybe a little half one up here. Okay, rinse, dab, dab. Nice. Let's go to this first one that we started. 3 nice watery dots. Dab, dab after I rinsed. Now, if some of your petals seem an awful lot lighter or darker, unless it bothers you a lot, just let it be, because it'll just look like going into the cerulean blue, more paint. Dot, dot, dot. It'll just look like you've got some light coming in at different directions. I don't want every petal to look the same in every way, because that's not how flowers are. And it'll drive you crazy trying to do that. All right, wetting my brush, getting some cerulean blue. Water. More water. Okay. A lot of paint now. Drying my brush there. I just rolled it onto the paper towel. All right, where do I need to go? Here? A little more water. Now I'm just doing the in-betweens, 3 at a time. All right. And let's see here. A little more. Good. Rinse. Dab, dab. And there we go. Coming along quite nicely. I would say I'm going to put one right here. Nice. Okay, let's go over here to this little guy. I'm just going to do 2. Rinse. There. Okay. I'm liking the way this is filling in. What do you think? It's kind of cute. All right. I've got some of that cerulean blue. And I'm going to just give a little flower over here. I'm just going to fill it in right now, because it's going to be a little watery, a little blurry. That's good. Okay. Now, I'm thinking I'm going to get some brown. I'm going to go into the umber, because the burnt sienna is so red. So, see, this is burnt sienna, which is here, awfully red. I'm going over here, more of a green brown, more of a cool brown. And I'm just going to put dots sort of where the red and the yellow kind of met. Very, very sparse. There we go. And I'm just going to let that dry. Now, for my blue flowers, I'm going into the cerulean blue, and I'm going to use just a little bit more paint, a little less water. And I'm just going to put some dots at the base of these petals. Watery dots. If the dots are joining up, I don't care. I want another petal here and another petal here. That flower looks like a squirrel jumped on it and got a little smashed. All right, let's let that one alone for a minute. Go back to my cerulean blue and come over to this one. This one looks a little heavy, so I picked up some. I'm moving it over here and here. Okay, I think that other one is safe. I'm going to go ahead and put some of this on. Nice. All right. I'm going to work on some greenery. Now, I pulled out a couple of yucky brushes. They're watercolor brushes I keep them in my watercolor kit, but I wanted one that's kind of splayy and weird. Remember those weird little leaves we made with a kind of a rotten brush? Well, that's what I kind of want here. And I'm going to go into this green, and then it's just called green. And it's dry, and so I'm just going straight with pigment. I'm going to wear some green here. See, it's almost like poster paint. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of drying it in my palette. I don't want to dry it on the paper towel because then I'm just throwing pigment away. All right, I'm going to hold the back of this, and I'm just going to put it right here and give it a twist. Over here, give it a twist. Over here, twist. Twist. Can you see that I'm just twisting that brush around? No, where else do we need a little green in here? All right, rinsing that off. Going into a bigger brush, going back to that Grumbacher that I used here. Wet, dab, dab. I want it pretty dry. And now I'm going to just kind of leaf shape these in. Little bit of water, dab, dab off. And same thing, little water, dab, dab. Little water at the tip, dab, dab. Yeah, a little water on the tip. Again, little water on the tip, dab, dab on the paper towel. Yeah, okay. Now I'm going to go for some lighter leaves. Same brush, more water, and now I'm going to wet down that green. And I'm going to make some leaves that are in the shape of like an upside down heart. And just fill it in. Pick up some of that. Put one over here. Good. Pick up some of that green just on the tip. Nice. And over here. I'm adding just a little bit of stemmage. See how that one has that white in there? I kind of like that. I'm going to lengthen these and give them a little more of a swing. A little more of a swing tip. Okay. Good. I want some more. I'm going to take a smaller brush. I'm going to go back to my Princeton Snap, which is number 6. Dab, dab. And I've got that green going on. And I've used that yellow ochre, remember? So I'm going back into yellow ochre. And I'm going to mix it in with this color of green. So I'm not really adding another color. And now I'm just going to add some little leaves. Leaves on top of leaves. I'm just adding greenery. Good. Now my brush is getting with less pigment. That's okay. I want different colors. Some of them are more showing, some of them are not. I want some flowing this way. I kind of made this one upside down, so I'm rounding out the back and bringing it out that way. Yeah, got to remember kind of what direction the leaves are going. Turning it around so that I don't make that mistake again. Okay, rinse, dab, dab. I'm going into that first green and I'm just gonna put some on these most recent leaves that I've made. Just to give them a little boost of color here, there. This one could use a little something. Good. Okay. Going back into that mixture and it's getting faint, a little too faint. There we go. How we doing? We're getting there. A little bit of leaves over here. I'm going to put a leaf right up against that flower. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. All right. Let's do a little something with these blue centers. And I think I'm just going into my cad yellow, pretty thick. I'm not even watering it down on the tray, and I'm just dotting in the middle of these blue flowers. A little more. Nice. All right. Now, I'm going to take a fine brush. This is a very tiny little brush. It's a 5/0. I don't even know what that means. I'm going into that madder red. I want to make sure I don't have water at the ferrule. A little more water on the brush though. And I'm just going to make some little lines coming out of the larger flowers. I like that. It's a tiny bit of water. Doesn't that just add? Nice. I need a little water. You kind of have to look at what direction your flower petals are going. There we go. I like that. It's coming along great. All right, we're just going to do a little bit more. Let's grab the snap and one more color. Let's see. I think I'm just going to go with, I've got some kind of an orangey color going on here. It's kind of an orangey browny color. Might be this sepia. It is, with just a little bit of that. They call it flame red. It's orange to me. All right. I am just going to be adding little circles. Little circles like this. Little fillers. Yep. Are they flowers? Are they dirt? We don't know. Just filling in. Nice. I'm picking up some of that. Now I'm going to take those same dots and I'm just going to come out like like a little vine or a little twig or a little something way out. Can you see? I think so. Little more. I love it. Turn it around. Little more. Yes, I'm liking it. I think we filled this page up quite nicely. I'm going to just get a tip, just the tip of my brush went into the water. And I want some more of these. Where else do we need some? Okay, now I want a piece of paper, a plain old piece of paper. Do I have one here? I happen to have one. Yes. All right. I am just going to quickly, I'm going to fold this in half. And I'm going to kind of make an arch. Like we've got, and I'm making a mask. I can adjust it once I see where we're at with it. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. I'm going into, that's a big brush. I'll try this Princeton Snap, number 6. Going into the gold. You can have way too much of this on a painting like this. But I think to have it on the very furthest edges will be great. Down here, a little more water. Little more paint. I guess if it's not splashing my face, it's not enough, huh? Boy, I just want a little bit more. There we go. All right, I think that's good. Okay, well, what have we got here? You gonna stay with me till I pull the tape off and see? I'm gonna just let it rest long enough for me to get my name on it. There we go. I'm gonna try not to disturb. Oh, go in there. There we go. Not disturb those wet splatters. Oh boy. And there we go. Ta-da! Okay. Well, I know this is something you can do. Let's give it a thumbs up if you found this inspirational. Please consider subscribing to my channel. And over here, you're going to find a video that's been picked out just for you. Enjoy this, and then I'll see you over there.